Okay, so moving into our amides now, a different functional group. So remember, these are the functional group where it's a carbonyl next to an amine, so next to a nitrogen. So we're going to learn a couple of reactions with amides is the main thing that we're going to do with them. They have pretty similar properties overall to like an ester, and the uses of them are pretty similar to amines, and they're kind of seen as synonymous in terms of they're seen a lot in pharmaceutical molecules as well. So the amidation reaction is the name that we give for the reaction where we make amides. And this is the formation of amides from carboxylic acids and amines. So if you mix together a carboxylic acid and an amine, but you heat it really hot, then you'll get an amidation reaction. So realize that carboxylic acid and an amine, we've already talked about the reaction between them as just an acid-base neutralization reaction. And we make that salt with the amine, the ammonium ion and the carboxylate. But now if we add heat into the reaction, we're actually going to change the covalent bonds pretty significantly. So if we add heat, we're going to make an amide and water. Okay, so the general scheme is down here. And what you'll notice is that the two, let's do a different color. It's the same, it's pretty similar as an esterification reaction in that you're going to just swap parts with two different things. So the OH of the carboxylic acid is going to change places with two of the three things on nitrogen. So the one thing you have to leave off is a hydrogen. So if you have, for example, a tertiary amine, this won't work. It will only do a neutralization reaction. It will not do an amidation because you have to have a hydrogen to be able to give to water. So circle two of the nitrogen plus two of its other things, keeping off one of the hydrogen, and that's one of the hydrogens if there's more than one, and that's what you're going to swap places with. So as you can see, what I circled now on the amide is the exact same as what I started with circled on the amine. And then over here, we have that alcohol that is now connected to the hydrogen from the amine to make water. So let's try our own example. So I'm going to circle two components of the amine and circle my alcohol for my carboxylic acid, and I'll trade those places. So I have this molecule, this amide, as a result. And then I have water. So that is the amidation reaction. So continuing on, we're going to work on naming amides. So the amide naming is pretty similar to ester naming, but now we just have another group on there. But the first word is going to name the groups on the nitrogen. Whoa, sorry. There we go. On the nitrogen. So if there's like, in this bottom example, we have two methyl groups on the nitrogen, therefore we're going to have two methyl groups. So dimethyl in our naming at the end, in the first word portion. The second word, name the carboxylic acid, dropleic acid, and replace with amide. So let's try one. So I went ahead and named this for us so we can just look at it. But we started off with dimethylamine. We're going to take just the dimethyl part and save that. We're going to drop the amine from our naming. So then you see that we have dimethyl as the first part of our name. We're going to name things on nitrogen first. We have dimethyl, and just like we did with anilines, we're going to have to say that it's NN dimethyl. So we're saying that at the N position on the nitrogen, there's two methyl groups. And then we name the carboxylate So over here we had acetic acid. So we're going to keep acete, A-C-E-T. We're going to drop ic acid because it's not a carboxylic acid anymore. And we're going to replace that with amide. So we have acetamide, is how you pronounce that. So we can also do this with common names. So we take our common name from our carboxylic acid, I'm sorry, that's what the common name is what we just did. We could also do IUPAC names. So ethanoic acid is also the name for acetic acid. And you do the same thing, and it would just be N-N-dimethyl ethanamide. See how that's a little harder for me to say. I'm used to the common names, not the IUPAC names. So acetamide is easy for me to say because I hear it all the time. Okay, I think that's where we're gonna pause this video and we'll finish up amides in our last video for the day.